New York is renowned as a world-class city. Its biggest airport, on the other hand, not so much.
JFK is the worst airport in the country when it comes to dealing with luggage.
At JFK Airport, a temporary system outage at customs left travelers waiting for hours in security lines.
A water main break flooded most of Terminal 4 at JFK International Airport yesterday.
Once regarded as one of the top airports in the country, John F. Kennedy Airport has somewhat fallen from grace. With its outdated facilities, frequent delays, and disjointed layouts, it now has a turbulent reputation among travellers. But that's all about to change, because New York's busiest airport is undergoing a massive $19 billion overhaul. With fresh amenities, expansion of spaces, and a brand new terminal, JFK will soon be taking off to new heights. So fasten your seatbelt, sit back, relax, and enjoy our explainer on how this New York aviation hub is going to take back its world-class title. Originally called Idlewild Airport, JFK was built to relieve congestion at LaGuardia in 1948. It opened with 6 runways and 5 distinct and architecturally stunning terminals. By the next decade, the airport was handling the largest amount of international air traffic in the world and was the first place to serve passenger jets. But JFK's globally renowned status soon took a nosedive. With increased demand and a terminal layout designed pre-jet age, it simply couldn't keep up. Today, with over 62 million annual passengers, it's still one of the busiest in the country, and yet it consistently ranks as one of the worst hubs to travel through due to significant delays, a disjointed layout, and its bad accessibility from the city. Typically, terminals are controlled by the airport's owner or operator and are all connected in a central area. But JFK is different. Instead, it had 6 disconnected terminals, 5 of which are currently active, that are managed by the airlines themselves. That can make it difficult for passengers to transfer in between on layovers, and airlines can never divert to a different terminal because each one only accepts planes from their owner. And because the terminals have been rebuilt or demolished over the years, they're still numbered 1 through 8, just with a couple of numbers missing in between to make things even more confusing. It's not surprising that what was once regarded as the top airport by pilots and passengers alike now fills most travellers' heads with dread. With a projected 100 million passengers by 2050, well beyond its initial capacity, city officials have finally decided to act.
The panel has put forward a vision plan for the entire airport that will completely transform JFK into a unified, interconnected, world-class airport.
The plan consists of revamping the terminals and improving the roadway and transit system between them. At the heart of the project is the new Terminal 1. With 23 gates and 2.5 million square feet of space, it'll be nearly the size of LaGuardia's 2 new terminals combined, making it easily the largest at JFK.
Our gate capacity will offer global airlines the flexibility to upgrade aircraft when needed to meet demand. As it relates to the airline partners, we're talking about capacity. And remember, at JFK, it's very competitive. There's a big push to have access to gates.
The $9.5 billion project will include new departures, arrivals, and customs halls, along with public spaces, amenities, and state-of-the-art tech.
The new technology will include the use of biometrics to help provide a seamless experience through the airport. The terminal will also be home to a solar array by our partner, Alpha Structure, that will indeed be the largest in New York City, and it will enable the terminal to be fully resilient in the event of any power disruption.
Large open areas are going to be filled with natural light, something set to be warmly welcomed by passengers who've kind of become accustomed to those dark and dreary terminals. Set to finish in 2030, the new Terminal 1 is going to be completed in phases, with the new halls and a portion of the gate set to open by 2026. But while that may be the biggest new terminal, it's not the only one. Terminal 6 will stretch 1.2 million square feet across a 2-level concourse. there'll be a giant new check-in space with a centralised security area, which means travellers won't have to drag their luggage as far. This will open out into the East Hall with additional dining and retail facilities, which will ultimately link through to Terminal 5, making connections between the two terminals much easier. The construction here is due to finish around 2028. Now, this regeneration of JFK, of course, wouldn't have been possible without the engineering teams behind it. Today's video sponsor, Parsons Corporation, is the lead designer for the reconstruction of the roadways, new ground transportation centre, and the relocation of utilities to provide reliable service for the airport. This alone will cost $1.2 billion. Parsons engineers will simplify roadway operations and create a more travel-friendly experience for the 62 million passengers who come through JFK every year. The modern ground transportation centre includes a new multi-level parking facility equipped with EV charging stations and an eco-conscious timber facade. There's also a 400-foot-long elevated pedestrian bridge, a rainwater harvesting facility, and solar panelling. Parsons is passionate about delivering smart infrastructure that helps better connect our world. Their aviation capabilities range from traditional program and construction management to digital and cyber solutions, PFAS decontamination, and more. Their comprehensive solutions optimize product delivery and operations while improving the traveller experience all around the globe. You can learn more about Parsons at the link below. Now, let's dive a little deeper into JFK. In addition to those big brand new terminals, the two remaining terminals are going to get new shops, restaurants, and upgrades throughout. But outdated terminals are just one part of JFK's problem. To properly address the connection issues between these facilities, the airport is reconfiguring its roadway transportation network. With new roads, bridges, and enhanced traffic tech, travellers are going to have an easier time navigating between the terminals. They're also reducing the number of roadway loops from 5 down to 2, in theory making it less confusing. All of that creates more space for cars to circle through and less chance of congestion. Also included is a multi-level parking facility with nearly 2,000 spaces and an eco-friendly timber exterior. A 122-metre new pedestrian bridge equipped with a rainwater harvesting system is going to link the car park over into Terminal 1. Now, as you might imagine, all this construction doesn't come without some disruption. The air train is being temporarily shut down at Terminal 1, which means passengers will instead have to take a shuttle bus to another terminal. And perhaps one of the biggest construction challenges is the location of JFK Airport itself. Because it's surrounded by dense neighbourhoods and congested highways, delivering and hauling away materials is not exactly straightforward. So instead of relying on trucks going against heavy traffic, workers are turning to another artery: the waterways. Barges carrying rocks and sand are going to navigate back and forth as far away as the New York Catskills, 40 kilometres to the north, as they're being pulled by tugboats. They'll float down the Hudson River and across the bay into a makeshift dock that's been constructed using temporary floating platforms on the western side of the airport. Now, city officials say this alternative could eliminate as many as 300,000 roundway trips on trucks throughout the course of the project. Just one of these barges equates to 200 truckloads alone. Less vehicles on roadways means less traffic and pollution created by the project. But the alternative can be a little bit more unpredictable. According to this report by the New York Times, a storm delayed one tugboat from reaching the dock because it was churning up massive swells around the surrounding bay. The city is also building its own concrete plant to produce the roughly 550,000 square metres expected to be used at the JFK works. That's enough to fill about 218 Olympic pools. Now, producing this much concrete isn't great for the environment, but officials hope that locating production on site will allow for easier reuse of materials, which can ultimately help to bring carbon footprints down. JFK was once a renowned airport among travellers and pilots, but as it's gotten busier, it hasn't been able to keep up with the increased demand. It's one of the many New York airports undergoing a massive overhaul to keep pace with the city's world-class status. While projects like this might be regarded as best in class when they first open, if they don't continue to update, then they're going to get left behind. So it's important to upgrade or else risk an unfavourable outcome. Thankfully, New York has recognised the risks and is working to fix it before it's too late. This video was sponsored by Parsons. You can learn more about that at the link below. And as always guys, if you enjoyed this video and you want to get more from the definitive video channel for construction, make sure you're subscribed to the B1M.